All right, everyone, we are live for today's office hours. Great to be chatting and connecting with you here today. Today is Tuesday, August 10th, right around 3:30, just a little after 3:30 Eastern. I see people joining now. Welcome to the live office hours. Basically, anything goes. I'm here today to help you with all of your health-based questions, wellness, weight loss, anti-aging. So I'm going to do my best to get to all of them over the next 20 minutes. And that's when my next meeting starts, about 22 minutes from now. And just happy to try to be of whatever service I can be. I know that we do this on the weekend host calls. So always do feel free to tune in to stephencabral.com/podcast. Every weekend, I answer a dozen questions from our community, 6 on Saturdays, 6 on Sundays. And we've been doing that now for over 5 years. And we've answered, I always forget the math on this, but it's literally, I'm going to figure it out right now because instead of always guessing, I'm going to give you the actual math. So we've done this now for over 5 years. That's conservative. We've done it for 12 months each year. And then we multiply that by, let's do it by 52 weeks times 12 questions times 5 years. And we get just over 3,000 or so questions. I think we've hit 5,000. I don't know why I believe that, but anyway, there's a lot of questions answered, and always happy to try to do my best. And also want to give a shout out to my team, because every time you have a question inside of cabralsupportgroup.com, it gets answered that day. So if you ever have a question about one of the protocols, like the CBO protocol, heavy metal protocol, heavy metal detox, the mold detox, the functional medicine detox, children's CBO, you name it, ask, and you're going to get some expert advice there. Plus, there's over 12,000 people inside of that group, and you get all their feedback too, completely unsolicited. People give their honest opinion, and really that's what it's all about. A lot of good people in that group, and that's really what it's all about, because I have a feeling going forward, we're going to need more grassroots-based movements to be able to share information however we would like. And so anyway, happy to be a part of that. So that's what this is all about, answering your questions. Let's dive right in. Let's see what questions we have going in. My team will add additional questions into the chat so that I can see them coming in, because I am only looking on Instagram right now. And if you're watching this on Facebook, we'll certainly be able to answer those questions. But I am most active for sure inside of cabralsupportgroup.com, over on Facebook, which is a free private Facebook group, and then over at stephencabral.com. All right. So hello, everyone. Appreciate all the waves, all the hearts, all the hellos. And we've got a lot of people from all over the world: Australia, Brazil, I see here, Europe, I recognize some names, and of course, all over the US. All right. First question is going to be from, I think it says Tennille, itching all over the body. What could that mean? All right. So itching over the body, or itching in general, is going to be food sensitivity, environmental sensitivity, eosinophil production, histamine production, cytokines, some type of typically Th2 dominant response. So this means that you have some type of a sensitivity, not necessarily an allergy, but a sensitivity. And so it depends. It could be anything from a new detergent you're wearing to, if it happens after a meal, okay, that could be from a food sensitivity as well. So the best thing to do always is to look at the gut. So you'll run the food sensitivity test and the Candida metabolic and vitamins test to see if there's a Candida or yeast-based overgrowth, which is very common with this. And remember, most allergies, environmental and food-wise, but they're technically sensitivities because they're not life-threatening. They're typically gut mediated, meaning there's a lot of intestinal permeability, which over time heightens the immune system for chronic inflammation and histamines. And then it causes skin itching, headaches, brain fog, migraines, acne, skin rashes, eczema. What else? Fatigue. And these are all allergy-based signs, and most of them are gut-based. And remember, the enzyme that breaks down histamine is called diamine oxidase, DAO, and that's actually produced in the gut. But if your gut's imbalanced with not enough good lactobacilli, what happens is you don't produce enough of it. Thank you, Tennille, for writing in. All right, what causes crow's feet? All right, so crow's feet are these little lines right here. around the eyes, right? So as people age, it's inevitable there's a catabolic process of the body. However, the goal is to extend the youthful look if you choose to for as long as you can. So it's kind of like, how much energy do you want to put into that? And how much results do you want to get out? That's a big part of it. Now, I'll tell you this, you will see a dramatic difference if you're getting you don't want to overdo protein, but you definitely need about half your body weight in protein per day. For most people, what's that? 50, 60, 70, 80 grams of protein per day. Not a lot, right? And what are you doing? Well, 20 grams at breakfast in something like a smoothie. This is actually my second smoothie of the day. On my workout days, I've been adding a second smoothie because I'm doing more triathlon training right now. Sprint triathlon, not Ironman triathlon. Because that will definitely cause more crow's feet, that type of overtraining and catabolism. But really, I'm just give it to you straight. Zinc, vitamin C, glutamine, and advanced collagen support. So what would I do? Daily nutritional support, alkalizing vitamin C, balanced zinc, and advanced collagen support. Because your body needs the raw material to build up tissue. And this right here, right? This is all just tissue. And so the tissue needs to be rebuilt. But if you're not sleeping enough, you've got kids that are wearing you down, you've got stress in your life, you're also exercising, you break down faster. So you need to repair that protein. And this skin is just protein, right? So that's what we're looking at. So really important. Now, there are topical things you can put in your face, of course, but most of them are good quality oils. Check out episode 2000 I did with my wife. She's really an expert in skincare. I study skincare because a lot of what we did in Ayurveda was also on the skin too. I'm going to talk about that much more in the future. I keep my skincare routine super simple, and my wife has a more advanced skincare routine because that's one of her passions. She loves it. I love nutritional supplements, all behind me, and I love smoothies. So I do more of that. So I'm doing more of the internal and some external. She's doing more of the external and some internal. So hopefully it makes sense. Now, if you can combine both, forget about it. So I'm going to be there. I'll be there soon. As I get older, I need to pay more attention to my skin. But I also go out in the sun more. I don't get a burn, but that also breaks down the skin too. All right. So I've just decided to kind of really, again, I'm going to work with the aging process, not fight it, but I will keep doing the things to keep my skin good. All right. How should I try to test my intolerances? So the easiest way to test your food sensitivity intolerances is if you go to equi.life, equi.life/labs, there's one that says food sensitivity test. It's our first or second most popular lab over there at EquiLife. We sign off on that. So you get the doctor's sign off. You get a call with that. You get recommendations, all that. Now, if you want to test your environmental sensitivities, you go to an allergist. You get a referral from your PCP to go to an allergist, and they do typically a skin prick test. They put a bunch of different antigens or serums along your forearm or back, little prick, and then they will see which ones expand over a certain amount of time to show your allergen. They're both great. All right, let's see. This one seems to be from Paige. I PCOS and deal with dizzy spells. My doctor has tested me for insulin resistance, but I still have dizziness. Any recommendations? Thank you. Yeah, this is an important one. I've done a bunch of shows on PCOS. Maybe we can try to link this up for you today. Or if you go to go to cabralsupportgroup.com and ask them to which show. But PCOS is cortisol issues, thyroid issues, estrogen dominance, high levels of testosterone, and potentially blood sugar imbalances with insulin. So a lot of the experts out there like to say, oh, PCOS is all about high testosterone and insulin resistance. It's not true. That's not true at all. And typically, those are not the precursors or the root cause. So for example, let's say a woman is very stressed. Okay. So what happens is she starts to get elevated levels of cortisol, especially the second half of the day when cortisol is supposed to be dropping. So it's much more detrimental. So then what happens is she starts to lower her thyroid. So she has lower metabolic function. So she begins to gain some weight, retain water, get thinning of the hair on top of the head, thinning of the last outside of the eyebrow right here. And again, you're just blaming it on PCOS. Okay, I get it. PCOS, 100%. It needs to be worked on. It needs to be fixed. But it was cortisol affecting thyroid, which then affects what? Progesterone levels. So progesterone levels start to drop, but estrogen levels maintain normality. So now normal estrogen looks like what? High estrogen, because progesterone's low, and they're supposed to be balanced, especially in what's called the luteal phase. So now you have estrogen dominance. And so again, you have to understand is PCOS is not one thing. It's 5 things that all need to be balanced. But the good news is it's not difficult to fix. It's honestly not. I know people have been led to believe it's just genetic and that's it. It's not. There's diet, there's exercise relation to it, and there's supplementation. There's a lot that goes along with it. So I don't have my book in front of me, but if you haven't read The Rain Barrel Effect, it's essentially free. You just go to StephenCabral.com. You just pay shipping, because my goal is to get that book to as many people as possible. 100% of all profits from that book go to charity. And the last thing I would say is this: run your lab, run the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism. You can do it right at home, and you can figure out all your hormonal levels and what might be the specific issue for you. All right. And if I'm talking fast and there's a lot, remember there's a podcast on every one of these topics that's 20 minutes long and goes in depth. And all of those are free, and they're all at StephenCabral.com/podcasts. And if you want a real in-depth dive on female hormones, go to StephenCabral.com/accelerators. And there's a 4.5-hour online healing course on female hormones. There's also one on thyroid and also one on the gut. All right. Hello, Dr. Cabral. Is it okay for someone with Graves' disease to fast? Okay, I see what you're saying. So Graves' disease is hyperthyroidism. So most women and men have hypothyroidism. That means basically TSH above a 2. Doctors will tell you it's fine to have a TSH all the way up to a 5. That's not okay. You might not have a diagnosed disease, but certainly you have a low thyroid. So 0.5 to 2. So if you have Graves, you have below a 0.5 TSH. Now, there's always a reason why. Again, everyone has genetics, no doubt about it. I used to have Addison's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, type 2 diabetes. I had POTS. I had myalgic encephalomyelitis. I had insomnia. I had debilitating allergies. I had a lot, okay? I don't have any of those things today, but I still have the same genetics, same exact genetics. Genetics don't change. What changed was my internal environment. I was able to bring up my deficiencies and then reduce my toxicities. And you can do the same for any disease. Don't let your doctor tell you that you can't. You can't. Your genetics are not your destiny, okay? They're your default, okay? So if you live by conventional medicine, then you hit the default, and the default of your genetics, unfortunately. Okay, so can you still fast? The answer is yes. And it'll be helpful, but you don't want to overdo it. So I've got a whole category of podcasts now on intermittent fasting. So you can find them in iTunes just by going to nutrition, and it's like the top 2, like number 2 or 3 show in nutrition. Or you can just go to StephenCabral.com/podcast, swipe through the images and click on intermittent fasting. And really, I take you through, is 12 hours right for you? 14 hours right for you? 16 hours right for you? Who should do a 1-day fast? Because remember, anybody telling you that 16 hours is what you should do is automatically wrong by default. Like, it's not their fault. They just bought into a bad bill of goods. That's it. It's because, okay, 16 hours for someone that's hypoglycemic or catabolic is only going to create more crow's feet and tons of stress, right? But what if they're not? What if they're more of a kapha body type? Okay, well, they can go a little bit longer. So again, there are layers to this, and you need to peel back the onion to really understand. But people I work with, again, I'm not working with you specifically, but we would still do a 6 p.m. at night to 8 a.m. fast, most likely for someone with Graves. But I can't tell you that specifically. But I just want you to know, because we can't provide medical advice here. All right, we've got lots of people joining, which is great. Happy to have you. Love being able to chat with you on these informal office hours. All right. Turnip says order of importance for tests for gut, thinking the oat, the stool, the food sensitivity in that order if a client might prioritize. All right, I don't know if you're an IHP or you're a naturopathic doctor or functional medicine person, which is great. So if you think the person has candida issues, you're correct. If you think that person has bacterial issues or H. pylori or parasite, move the stool test first. And the food sensitivity test is basically always last, unless you're trying to convince a client or their child that a food like gluten or dairy is actually setting them back. And then, okay, then you can prioritize that. So again, I'm trying to give everything away for free. And people think that I'm insane, and they're partially correct. However, my book is now free. The podcast is free. My assessments are now free. So you can literally go to stephencabral.com/ probably assessments. I don't know. Again, I have an amazing team. They create all these things, but you'll find assessments up there in the navigation bar. Do the assessments first. It's completely free. You don't even have to opt in for an email address, like legitimately. So we have thousands of people do the assessments every month. And there's one for candida, there's one for bacteria, there's one for H. pylori, there's one for parasites. So do the assessments first and then run the labs. Because the assessments are not a diagnosis, of course. All right. What exactly do you eat for days 3 through 7 on the detox? You suggest amounts in 1 to 3. You suggest amounts in 1 to 3. I don't know what the last part means, but it's sky's the limit. I mean, honestly, when you get your detox, which I don't have, what is it, right up there? Yeah, ours, remember our community detox, you can do it whenever you want. Remember, start anytime. The best time to start is always yesterday. The second best time is definitely today. And tomorrow will suffice as well. But we do a detox every season as a community. And lots of recipes are shared at cabralsupportgroup.com. We have over 100 recipes there that you can search for. But you basically choose a couple of vegetables that you like. Whatever ones you want, honestly. It's almost like sky's the limit. We stay away from the starchy ones for now. Choose a protein. Okay, your lunch is going to be a vegan protein. Chickpeas, hemp hearts, mung beans, whatever it is that you like. And then dinner can be vegan again, or it can be paleo. Choose from fish, chicken, turkey, whatever you'd like. And then again, it's paired with veggies, and it's also paired with a healthy fat such as olive oil and avocado. We allow coconut oil if people really want to do that one. And then for those people that don't need to lose weight, they have options to add in some safe starches and some berries as well. So we take you through all of that. I mean, really, it's step by step. If you go to equa.life/detox, we actually show you the entire plan right there too. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. I mean, it's literally, if you can only do one thing, you do a 21-day functional medicine detox, and it's game-changing, literally game-changing. This is, maybe it says Ale next. Doing the 21-day detox to reset and lose weight, not losing as much, 3 pounds on day 11. Why might this be? Is my body fixing something else first before letting go of the weight? How to boost weight loss? Yeah. So we talk about this. 1 out of like 30 people won't lose 5 pounds in 7 days. Now, the person might not have a lot of weight to lose. So for example, if you're already on your goal weight, you might only lose a couple pounds and you can gain it back if you choose to. But everybody, if you need to lose 15 to 20 or more pounds, you should lose 5 pounds in your first 7 days. So whenever someone doesn't, I have a podcast on this. And please ask this at cabralsupportgroup.com. So, because they'll link to the podcast. I don't have all 2010 memorized. That'd be great if I did. So, because then it'd be literally, I could just use AI to I'm back. Just got a phone call, which is very rare. I only get text messages. But where was I? So going back to your question on why you might lose weight, it's typically a thyroid, higher level of cortisol, or even a PCOS issue. And there's only one main lab that you need to run. The big 5 is always the best, but one main one, and that's the stress hormone, mood, and metabolism over at equa.life/labs. Now, again, you don't have to run them with EquaLife, but see the lab that I'm talking about. And then if you have a qualified integrative health practitioner, you can always run it with them. And they should be a level 2 integrative health practitioner. All right, this one's from Trisha. I've been on daily thyroid support for over 6 months. I'm afraid to go off of it. Will it be okay to continue on at the age of 52? Still stressed, but feeling great on all my supplements. No, so it's called daily thyroid support, meaning like you could take it daily if you need to. It's iodine, selenium, zinc, guggul lipid, which is an Ayurvedic herb. It's ashwagandha. And but the nice thing is this, the scientific way to do it is this. You run the lab, the stress hormone, mood, and metabolism, while on your supplements. Then if you're doing great and your TSH is between a 0.5 and a 2, ideally around a 1.5 or less, okay, then we don't stop daily thyroid support. We go to 1 and 1, AM and PM, instead of 2 and 2. And then you test 12 weeks later and you say, okay, am I still at a 1.5 for TSH? If the answer is yes, with good T4 and good T3, then you try coming off of it. That's the best way to do it. But again, it's always your choice. Kimberly said, do you recommend adding in 250 milligrams? I don't know. What's the 250 milligrams for? Kimberly, right back in. Let me know what the 250 milligrams means. Looking for recommendations for fuse and outlet covers. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever talked about fuse covers because I'm assuming to get rid of the electricity, right? To ground them. I think that's what you're talking about. Check out the podcast I just did with Jessica Green on how to avoid toxic home syndrome. And we talk about an easy, essentially kill switch for your bedroom that clicks off all the energy in the bedroom, which is the best way to do it if you can do that. I don't have a gallbladder, have a difficult time losing weight. Should I be taking another supplement when doing the 21-day detox? Again, I can't give you medical advice. So when you don't have a gallbladder, it moves into conventional medicine. But what a lot of people do is they take, they don't do anything. But some people add in ox bile, and they take one before bed and one upon waking for the easy way to do it. Or some people will do it the more complicated way, but better way, which is 1 hour after each meal. Hello, London. Hello, Trinidad. Great to have you here. All right. Actually, our time is up. Time flies. 22 minutes, 25 minutes, right? Like that. I've got one more. So, all right. So let's do one more. This says, hi, I did the FM cleanse, which is the functional medicine detox. Now the CBO adding foods. Now I thought I burnt my tongue, but it's been over a week and it feels the same. Could it be a food sensitivity? Next Monday colonoscopy, can I take advantage? Okay. I don't know what all of this means, but you say it feels like you burnt your tongue. Interesting. I don't know. It could be a food sensitivity. I don't know if you're adding in new foods for it to feel that way. But if you ever think it's a food or a supplement that's new, this is always my recommendation. Stop anything new that you've been doing when you started to get this for 3 days. If it goes away, okay, well, there's your variable. It was a new food. It was a new supplement. It was a new throat spray. It was a new whatever, or even a nasal spray, because that drips down into your tongue. Some people get post-nasal drip, and then they have that weird feeling on the top of their tongue. And then what you do is say, okay, I'm going to add one new variable back now that I'm feeling better. And when you only add one back at a time, then you can actually say, oh, it popped up again, and it was this. So every 3 days, you can add in one new variable. We call that titrating everything in, and it makes it pretty easy to figure out what your body's sensitive to. So you can always work with one of our health coaches too. And that's over at equa.life/health-coaching. Or you can always you can work with our integrative health practitioners all over the world. So if you go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, click on the practitioner sign, you will find thousands of integrative health practitioners all over the world. And they're qualified to help you. There's no doubt about that. So they go through my specific certification and training, and the level 2s know how to teach you and run all of these specific labs as well. So thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun as always. I'll be back soon. And of course, do feel free to tune in to Cabral Support Group to ask more questions, and then check out stephencabral.com for assessments, accelerators, podcasts, all the good things. All right. Take care, everyone.